The majesty and burning of this death, I shall not murder the mankind of her going, with a grave truth, nor blaspheme down the stations of the breath with any further elegy of innocence or youth. Deep with the first dead lies London's daughter, robed in long fringe, the grains beyond age, the dark veins of her mother, secret by the unmourning water of the rising Thames. After the first death, there is no other. What passing bells for these who die as cattle? Only the monstrous anger of the guns. Only the stuttering rifle's rapid rattle can patter out their hasty horizons. No mockeries now for them, nor prayers, nor bells, nor any voices of mourning save the choirs, the shrill, demented choirs of wailing shells, and bugles calling for them from sad shires. What candles may be held to speed them all? Not in the hands of boys, but in the eyes shall shine the holy glimmers of goodbyes. The pallor of girls' brows shall be their pall. Their flowers the tenderness of patient minds, and each slow dusk a drawing down of blinds. With 1,000 pains that vision face was grained, yet no blood reached there from the upper ground, and no guns thumped or down flues made moan. Strange friend, I said, here is no cause to mourn. None, said the other, save the undone years, the hopelessness. Whatever hope was yours was my life also. I went hunting wild after the wildest beauty in the world, which lies not calm in eyes or braided hair, but mocks the steady running of the hour. And if it grieves richlier than here. For by my glee might many men have laughed, and of my weeping something had been left, which must die now. I mean the truth untold. To miss the march of the retreating worlds into vain citadels that are not walled. Then, when much blood had clogged their chariot wheels, I would go up and wash them from sweet wells. Even with truths that lie too deep for that taint, I would have poured my spirit without stint. But not through wounds, not on the cess of war. Foreheads of men have bled where no wounds were. Row after row with strict impunity, the headstones yield their names to the element. The wind whirs without recollection, and the riven troughs and splayed leaves pile up of nature casual sacrament to the seasonal eternity of death. Then driven by the fierce scrutiny of heaven to their election in the vast breath, they sow the rumor of mortality. Autumn is a desolation in the plot of 1,000 acres where these memories grow, from the inexhaustible bodies that are not dead, but feed the grass row after rich row. Think of the autumns that have come and gone. Ambitious November with the humors of the year, with a particular zeal for every slab, staining the uncomfortable angels that rot on the slabs. A wing chipped here, an arm there. The brute curiosity of an angel's stare turns you like them to stone, transforms the heaving air, till plunged to a heavier world below, you shift your sea space blindly, heaving, turning like a blind crab, dazed by the wind, the leaves flying plunge. You who have waited by the wall, the twilight of certainty in an animal, those midnight restitutions of the blood, immitigable pines, the smoky freeze of the sky, of the sudden call, you who know the rage, the cold pool left by the mounting flood of muted Zeno, you who have waited for the angry resolution of those desires that should have been your tomorrow, you who know the unimportant shrift of death and praise the vision, and praise the arrogant circumstance of those who fall. Rank upon rank hurried beyond decision. Here by the sagging gate, stopped by the wall. Seeing only the leaves flying, plunge, and expire. Turn your eyes to the immoderate past. Turn to the inscrutable infantry rising demons out of the earth. Stonewall and the sunken fields of hemp. Shiloh, Antietam, Malvern Hill. Lost in the orient of thick and fast. You who curse the setting sun. Cursing only the leaves crying like an old man in the storm. You who hear the shout, the crazy hemlocks point with troubled fingers to a silence which smothers you, you mummy. The hound, toothless and dying in a musty cellar, hears the wind only. What shall we who count our days and bow our heads with commemorial woe in the ribbon coats of grim felicity? What shall we say of the bones, unclean, whose verdurous anonymity will grow? The ragged arms, heads, and eyes lost in these insane acres of green. The gray, lean spiders come and go in a tangle of willows without light. The singular screech owl's tight, invisible lyric seeds the mind with furious murmur in the days of chivalry. We shall say only the leaves flying, plunge, and expire. We shall say only the leaves whispering in the improbable midst of nightfall that flies on multiple wing. Night is the beginning and the end, and the in-between. It waits on mute speculation. The patient curse that stones the eyes, or like the jaguar that leaps for his own image in a jungle pool, his victim. What shall we say, we who have knowledge? Shall we take this act to the grave? Leave now. Shut the gate to the decomposing wall. The gentle serpent green in the mulberry bush riots his tongue through the hush. Sentinel of the grave who counts us all. We watch there from the house as the river grew. Helpless and terrible in its unfamiliar body, wrestling everything into it. The water wrapped around the trees until their life hold was broken. They went down one by one, and the river dragged off their covering. Nests of the heron, roots washed to the bone, snags of soaked bark on the shoreline, a whole forest pulled through the teeth of the spillway. Trees surfacing singly where the river poured off into arteries for fields below the reservation. When at last it was over, the long removal, they had all become the same dry wood, and we walked among them, the branches whitening in the raw sun. Above us drifted herons, alone, hoarse-voiced, broken, settling their beaks among the hollows. Grandfather said these were ghosts of the tree people moving above us, unable to take their rest. Sometimes now we dream our way back to the heron's dance, their long wings bending the air into circles through which they fall, then rise again in shifting wheels. How long we lived in the broken figures their necks make, narrowing the sky. White sky over the hemlocks. The antlered buck and his doe, standing in the apple orchard. I saw them suddenly go, tails up, with long leaps lovely and slow, over the stone wall into the wood of hemlocks, bowed with snow. Now lies he here, his wild blood scalding the snow. How strange a thing is death! Bringing to his knees, bringing to his antlers the buck in the snow. How strange a thing is death! A mile away by now it may be, under the heavy hemlocks that as the moments pass shift, letting fall a feather of snow. Life, life, looking out attentive from the eyes of the doe. I remember her neck curls, limp and damp as tendrils, And her quick look, a sidelong pickerel smile, and how once, startled into talking, the light syllables leaped for her, and she balanced in the delight of her thought, a wren, happy, tail to the wind, her song trembling the twigs and the small branches. The shade sang with her. The leaves, their whisper, turned to kisses, and the mold sang in the bleached valleys under the rose. Oh, when she was sad, she cast herself down to such pure depth, even a father could not find her. Scraping her cheek against straw, stirring the clearest water, my sparrow, you are not here. Waiting like a fern, making a spiny shadow the sides of wet stones cannot console me, nor the moss wound with the last light. If only I could nudge you from this sleep, my maimed darling, my skittery pigeon. Over this damp grave I speak the words of my love, I with no rights in the matter. The force that through the green fuse drives the flower drives my green age. The blast the roots of trees is my destroyer, and I am dumb to tell the crooked rose my youth is bent by the same wintry fever. The force that drives the water through the rocks drives my red blood, that drives the mouthing streams turns mine to wax, and I am dumb to mouth unto my veins how at the mountain spring the same mouth sucks. The hand that whirls the water in the pool stirs the quicksand that ropes the blowing wind, hauls my shroud sail, and I am dumb to tell the hanging man how of my clay is made the hangman's lime. The lips of time leach to the fountainhead. Love drips and gathers, but the fallen blood shall calm her sores. And I am dumb to tell the weather's wind how time has ticked a heaven around the stars. And I am dumb to tell the lover's tomb how at my sheet goes the same crooked worm. After the funeral, mules, praise, bray. Wind shake the sail-shaped ears, muffle-toed tap. Tap happily of one peg in the thick grave's foot. Blinds down the lids, the teeth and black the spittled eyes. The salt ponds and the sleeves, morning smack of the spades that wakes us up in sleep. Shakes a desolate boy who slits his throat in the dark of the coffin, and sheds dry leaves. That breaks one bone to lie with a judgment cloud after the feast of tear-stuffed thyme and thistles, in a room with a stuffed fox and stale fern. I stand for this memorial's sake alone in the sniveling hours with the dead, whose hooded fountain heart once fell in puddles round the parched worlds of whales and drowned each in the sun. Though for her it is a monstrous image blindly magnified out of her praise. Her death was a still drop. She would not have me sinking into the holy flood of her heart's fame. She would lie dumb and deep, and need no druid to fix her broken body. But I, a bard raised on hearth, call all the seas to service that her wood-tongued virtue babble over the hymning heeds. Bow down the walls of the ferned and foxy woods that her love sing and swings through a brown chapel. Bless her bent spirit with four crossing birds, her flesh was meek as milk. But this skyward statue with wild eyes and a blessed giant skull is carved from her in a room with a wet window, in a fiercely mourning house in a crooked year. I know her scrubbed and sour humble hands lie with religion in their cramp. Her threadbare whisper in a damp world, her wits drilled hollow. Her fist of a face died clenched in round pain, and sculptured in tears of stone. These cloud-sopped marble hands, this monumental argument of hewn voice, gesture, and psalm, storm me forever over her grave, until the stuffed lung of the fox twitch and cry love, and the strutting fern lay seeds on the black sill.
by Athena.